Put my super fuckable hat on, which makes all the women flock to me like marzipan. There we go. Most fuckable man on the planet now. So boys, in this one I wanted to talk to you about why no woman ever wanted me, how I fixed it. And this is actually a problem that I see with a lot of the guys who I work with, one-on-one. The thing that I try and make you boys aware of all the time is you don't have dating problems, you've got personal problems. And it's these personal problems which manifest themselves into dating problems. So maybe right now you're a chronic overthinker and you think too many steps ahead because maybe you work a cognitive job which is all about solving problems and actively searching for problems. You then take over this cognitive approach to life into the realm of seduction, and it doesn't compute the same way. I found that the world in general, reality, is not logical, it's not cognitive. It zigzags, it's sunshine, it's rainbows, it's illogical. And there was something that I always used to do, and it's only now in more of this heightened awareness that I can understand why I used to be repulsive to women. And it's simply because I cared way too much. Like, I used to take everything so personal. I used to walk into rooms and rather than operating from a place of wholeness where I actually rated myself, I would be looking around at every other guy in the room and thinking, this guy's better than me, this guy has got bigger arms than me, this guy is probably making more money than me, this guy probably gets more women than me. I've just been to this super hardcore like bodybuilding gym here in Bangkok. One of the best gyms that I've been to. Most of the guys in there, and the women as well, are on roids. They're taking gear. And it's obvious to see, like when you've been around the block, I used to go to powerlifting gyms in Poland. You can just tell, right? You can just tell who's on gear. I was in that gym today. I was looking around at all the guys. And by the way, it's your life. Do what you want to do. You know, if you want to hop on gear and compete in bodybuilding shows because that gives you a sense of self-worth, then fucking good luck to you. But I was noticing in myself, I used to go into places like this and I'd always be comparing, like, oh my God, that guy's got massive shoulders. I bet that guy gets loads of women. And then what I actually found by developing my own body is usually when you improve yourself, like improve your body especially, the most compliments that I used to get was from other guys. I remember when I was looking super juicy, all natural by the way, last summer in London, I remember coming out one of the gyms in Shoreditch, walking through the street, and this guy came over to me. He's like, hey bro, do you train at the gym? I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, respect. I remember I was in this other nightclub in Cardiff last year, and I had a vest on. I was walking through the club, and the only people that actually approached me were guys. And I was like, that's interesting. I've been sweating my bollocks off at the gym to get a better body, and the most attention that I've got is from guys who wanted to know my lifting routine. So I'm not saying don't do these things. I think the whole point of going to the gym, training, making money, improving yourself holistically. The reason why I do these things now is because I'm chasing the feeling attached. It's like it gives me this notion of accomplishment. So I can get to the end of every day with this perceived achievement. I feel like I've really put the reps in, you know. I train Muay Thai out here. I go to the gym. I make these live streams, I check in with my clients, we do our group coaching calls. But rather than doing these things now because I'm trying to get something, whether that's validation, approval, whether that's to receive love from external sources, I do these things because it pleases me as a man to do so. Like, I used to be cripplingly insecure, and the things that I did it all for validation. I'm like, oh, I want to make money because I want girls to like me. I want to get a better body because I want to receive love from the feminine. I want to live an international lifestyle, so that makes me seem cool. And I do think it's a rite of passage. I think whatever motivates you to get started at the beginning is useful. Like, I've always taken my motivation from the darker side of human emotion. If someone says to me, you can't do that, or you're not good enough, or if I had my heart broke into a million pieces, I used revenge as my fuel. It was kind of like that fuck you mentality, like, I'll show you. But that only takes you so far. Now the actions that I take, they come from a place of genuine love for myself. And the way that I operate is I do what I do because it pleases me to do so. And if people don't like me, fuck them. I'm too far gone now to actually care. But in the early days, I really did care. And that might be the position that you're in right now, where you just care too much. Yeah, you care too much about the approval of strangers. You care too much about what other people think of you. And I understand that. But what I've found is when it comes to the game of seduction, it's not even about the guys who've got the best body or who are making the most money or who have the coolest lifestyle. It actually just comes down to the guys who like themselves, who have a big set of balls, and they're not focused on what other people are doing. They just focus on themselves. And I think once you have this rational perspective, almost this evolutionary biology perspective, where the way that I view the world through different lenses. Like I've got a spiritual lens, I've got a biological lens, I've got this like esoteric lens. And I find that tapping into different lenses, asking myself what the moment wants, that helps me. So let's just say, for example, if I want to use the biological lens, let's say back in the day, I met a girl through cold approach, things were going well. And let's say all of a sudden, she ghosted me out of nowhere. She just stopped responding to my messages. Or let's say I had a date scheduled with a girl and I thought, oh yeah, this is gonna go great. We're definitely gonna go the whole way together. We're definitely gonna have this cosmic connection. It's gonna be flirty fucking fireworks. And let's say she ghosted. Let's say I never saw that girl again. Having this rational, evolutionary biology perspective where I view the world as, okay, we're all animals responding to incentives. Everybody just wants the best deal for themselves. Nothing is good nor bad. Everything is inherently neutral. If I can view everything as, okay, we're just animals responding to incentives, then I can't judge anybody for doing anything because we're simply acting in accordance with our incentives. So if you've gone out there to cold approach and you got no phone numbers, or you went out there to cold approach and you did get phone numbers, but those phone numbers flaked, or let's say you were dating a girl and for whatever reason, the whole thing just blew up in your face. It just is. Yeah, it just is. Maybe there were things that you could have done better, right? So you either win or you learn. Yeah, so maybe you were too needy in that relationship. Maybe you were too available. Maybe your overall approaches aren't as good as you think they are, which is an opportunity for you to grow and be curious. I wonder what I could do differently. I wonder what I could do better. Or you can just view it for what it is. You just didn't get the thing that you wanted, and that's okay. But I think this overemphasis on thinking that you're a special snowflake and you should be entitled to everything and starting to go into victim mode, like, oh, I'm doing all this work, I'm putting on all these reps, and I'm still not getting anything. Yeah, welcome to being a man. Get over it. Sometimes I find for me, I just need to look at myself in the mirror and be like, Kristian, the world owes you jack shit. Right? There's a 1 in 400 trillion chance of you being born. And when you're in those low frequency states of regret, shame, or guilt, you're honestly no good to anybody. And then you start complaining. Then you start going down the victim rabbit hole, like, oh, woe is me. Oh, look, the world is so difficult. Oh, dating is over. All this low frequency, low vibration mentality, that's what keeps you stuck. And then you start caring too much about your own emotions. So I'm not saying don't feel things. I'm not saying don't feel emotions, but I think don't become overly emotional, especially when things are not going your way. The way that I view things, especially when I was learning cold approach, one of the best mindsets was, this is either going to go well or I've got a funny story. I think if you can have more of that zoomed out, rational perspective, have more fun when you're dancing through the game of life, not taking things so personal, reducing the level of importance that you place onto outcomes, scenarios, or people. I think one of the biggest realizations I've had this year is most of our anxieties, most of our problems are caused when we place too much importance on specific details, like viewing every approach as a make or break situation. Like, I need this girl to like me. I need this phone number. I need this date to go a certain way. And again, that spills back into your personal problems. So you're hyper neediness on specific outcomes and specific people. They come from a deep-rooted fear of you not feeling as though you're enough. They come from this deep-rooted place of scarcity, like, oh, if this girl flakes on me, or if this relationship doesn't transpire, then I don't know how long it's going to be until I'm able to replace it. And then you're sinking into perpetual scarcity because you're placing too much importance on a specific person. Again, it just is. Like, I've had girls who I met over a year ago. We were texting back and forth. We had a date lined up, and out of the blue, they just went ghost. Didn't hear from them again. Now, when I first got started in this world of seduction 4 years ago, I took all of these things as personal. I'm like, oh, there must be something wrong with me. Oh, did I do something wrong? Did I say the wrong thing? And now I'm just like, yeah, it just is. Yeah, and that's what abundance is. Like this notion of abundance where it's not always having, it's knowing you can have. That's how you free yourself from all of these mental matrices that we plant into our own minds. If you can just view it as, I'm living for an audience of one, everything you do on a daily basis is to get you into the highest frequency possible. So whether that's creating content online, whether that's going to the fight gym, whether that's going to the resistance training gym, rather than doing these things because you're attempting to receive some external source, internal state is external reality. So I go to the gym because it pleases me. I go to the fight gym because it pleases me. I do these live streams because it pleases me. I spend time in beautiful climates because it pleases me. This is what I mean when I say you live for an audience of one. Then everything else is a bonus, right? Beautiful women are a beautiful byproduct of a beautiful life. But if you're doing these things because you're desperately trying to get a result, that's when you become repulsive, because people can smell the lack of abundance on you, right? It's the person who needs nothing from anybody. That's the guy who wins long term, because the person who has the most cares the least. The person who's most prepared to walk away has all the power. That's why I'm in a place of abundance now in my life, both relationship-wise and finances-wise. So now when people apply to work with me directly, I can turn people away. I can say no. And being able to say no is one of the most empowering feelings that there is. Because if you're the classic people pleaser, if you're just a yes guy and you say yes to every opportunity, every invitation, everything that gets extended to you, you're just like, yes, 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 then your yes doesn't mean anything. Now, my yes actually means something. So now when people are accepted into my private community, the Entourage, that's the highest compliment that I can pay somebody. We've only got 25 active members in the Entourage. And the reason why I'm able to say no to more people that I'm able to say yes to is because I'm having this long-term perspective. I'm in this for life, right? The Entourage, my community, that is my long-term goal. So I'm prepared to say no in the short term in order to win in the long term. But I think because now we live in a society addicted to immediacy, instant gratification, doom scrolling, people don't have that level of patience anymore where they can say no, where they can play the long game, where they can have more of that zoomed out perspective and be like, right, the actions that I take today, it's the compounding of my actions. So you going out today and doing 10 direct cold approaches, over time, your actions are going to compound. And 3, 4, 5 months down the line, you're going to be unrecognizable because we become what we practice. So if at the moment you're caring too much, you're attaching too much importance onto people, onto circumstances, then I get it. Like, I've been in that position myself. But being on the other side now, the whole way that I operate is I am excited about who I am, and I'm even more excited about who I'm becoming. I don't need to be the richest guy in the room anymore. I don't need to be the best looking guy. I don't need to have the best body. I just need to be in a place of complete self-adoration. And that's why now I can go into these powerlifting gyms. I can go to Dubai events, pay $15,000 for a ticket to be in that room. And I don't feel inferior anymore. I've got this sensation now where I just like myself. And that's how you become intoxicating to people, to women, to opportunities. It's where you just like yourself, right? You're no longer living in this ceaseless tide of comparisons. Like, oh, what's this guy up to? What's this guy doing? This guy's got this thing and I don't have it. The more time you spend thinking about other people, the less time you've got to dedicate to yourself. And when it comes down to it, dude, the relationship with yourself, that's all that fucking matters. Yeah, people go, friendships fade, relationships die, but all we've got is our relationships to ourselves. So I would say for you, the thing that I do, the thing that I get the guys in my entourage to do, create a weekly schedule for yourself. Have a weekly schedule. Stack all of the things that you want to win. So for me, it's train 3 times at the Muay Thai gym, train 3 times at the powerlifting gym, do a daily live stream, do the Entourage group coaching call, do the Entourage business coaching call, spend time in the sun. Like, just doing these things, being action focused rather than outcome dependent, stacking those wins, keeping promises to myself. That's how I got to this place of adoration rather than deprecation. So I do think the reason why I used to be repulsive to women was because I just cared. I just cared too much. And one of my favorite analogies is you see a guy who's driving a Lamborghini and you don't even think about the person who's driving the Lamborghini. You think what it would be like if you were driving the Lamborghini. So the guy who's bought the Lamborghini, he most likely bought it because he wanted to have that sensation of feeling important. He wanted to have status. He wanted to feel loved and feel worthy in people's minds. But when people see him driving in the Lamborghini, they're not even thinking about the guy. They're thinking about themselves, what it would be like for them to drive it. So as soon as you understand, you're not taking as much room in people's minds as you think. As soon as you realize the whole world is just motivated by self-interest, no one gives a flying fucker. No one's coming to save you. It's you versus you, living for an audience of one, aiming to be better than you were yesterday. Then you're free. You know, even just coming outside and doing live streams in public, recording myself, it just feels freeing. And that's why the mantra that I use on this channel and the mindset that I want you boys to, I think, just operate with as well. But the mindset that I really want to be known for is freedom from bullshit. Yeah, I'm not a dating coach. I'm not a day gamer. I'm not a pickup artist. I'm a freedom from bullshit practitioner. Everything that I do is an extension of my freedom from bullshit personality. Because I was thinking about this the other day as well. You know, when we were in school, this was what it was like in the UK. I don't know if it's the same in the US or other parts of Europe, but I remember being sat in my year 2 classroom. Can't remember how old I was at the time, maybe about 7 years old. I remember being sat around in a circle and we went around each child and we all had to say what we wanted to be when we were older. Did you ever have that? I remember going around the circle. Most of the boys said they wanted to be footballers. Most of the girls said they wanted to be actresses or movie stars or whatever else they wanted to be. I think I said that I wanted to be a fireman because I didn't give a fuck about football at the time. I like the idea of being a hero. I like the idea of being this like multidisciplinarian action hero, could go into burning buildings, save people's lives and shit. But then I look back on that now and I'm like, how twisted is that? At 7 years old, we were being asked what we wanted to do with the rest of our lives. And then whatever we were good at in school, that got pushed on us into like secondary school or high school. And then whatever we were good at in secondary school, that's got pushed on us to do that in college and then do it in university. It wasn't necessarily what we were passionate about, but it was what was going to give the department the best grades. So like, if you can understand this, it's like most of the things that we believe in adult life, they weren't even our decisions. They were just being forced and brain-fed. Is that even a word? It's quite a cool word, actually. They were being brain-fed into us from an early age. What do you want to do when you're older, Kristian? At 7 years old, I want to be a fireman. It's like, there is so much bullshit. There's so much programming. There's so many beliefs that we have in our minds about the world, about life, about women, that we don't even know why they have them. We don't even know why we have them. It's just been these thoughts and ideas and principles which have been just fed into our minds from young. And I think one of the greatest skills in the modern world is to be a critical thinker, to be an independent, sovereign individual who questions things. It's like, believe nothing, trust no one, question everything. And that's why I love daytime call approach so much. For me, it's always gone deeper than day game. It's a reactionary movement against a culture that wants to keep you static. Be a good boy. Ask for permission when you're allowed to go for a shit. Oh, you're good at maths. That means you have to do maths for the rest of your life. Yeah, but I want to do this. Yeah, but you're not good at that. And it's like all this weird, wanky shit that gets fed into us. And that's why now, everything that I do, it's all deeper than the activity itself. It's cold approach. That's a 2 middle finger salute to a society that wants to keep me static, traveling the world. I never wanted to be stuck in one place. I never wanted to feel tied to one location. I always wanted to feel free. Freedom is my ultimate motivator. So being able to travel, creating this YouTube channel, making this content, inspiring individuals, even creating a community as well. Like, my desire to create a community was because I didn't have friends when I was younger. I never got that sensation of feeling important as a child. So now, creating my community where people are looking towards me as the leader of this group, that nourishes my soul. It gives me that sensation that I didn't have of feeling this sense of belonging as a child. So I think all of our quote unquote problems, we can find them, most of them, buried in childhood. It's like Freud said, the adult is developed to protect the child. So this is like another Casanovian esoteric stream of consciousness. I don't even know if any of it's made sense, but this feels therapeutic for me. To be honest, it's coming to the end of the daily live streams. I'm kind of just making these videos for me now. I just find them therapeutic. Whatever I feel in the moment, I just talk about on these streams, whether they are coherent, whether they make any sense. I honestly couldn't give a fuck anymore. I just enjoy making them. And I find it quite interesting to think that these videos, they're going to be here a decade from now. So in 10 years, I'm going to be able to look back and tap right back into what I was feeling in the current moment. I might look back on these streams 10 years from now and think, what a wanker, what a fool. You literally knew nothing about the world. But I think now I've got the self-awareness to recognize that the more that I learn, the less that I know. All I know is I know nothing. So I just like to put these thoughts out there, hopefully inspire some people, hopefully show you that there is a better way to live your life. Like, if you're in the UK or Europe right now and you're freezing your tits off and you're thinking, is this what it's going to be like for the rest of my life? Nah, it doesn't have to be that way. Like, I'm going to be spending my Christmas here in Bangkok. I'll be here for New Year. Like, one of the best feelings in the world, just being able to go where I want, do what I want with who I want for however long I want to. I think this lifestyle is actually available to anybody who wants it. I made the point in the previous stream. If you can find a way to make $2,000 recurring each and every month, or even if you just save $10,000 in your bank account, that'll give you about 6 months runway, then go to places, man. You're only young once. All these thoughts, all of this analysis paralysis, what are people gonna think? What if it doesn't work out? Dude, if it doesn't work out, you just go back to the life you're living now. It's like, it's never as bad as we think. We suffer more in imagination than in reality, and most worries never come true. So I think just this notion that I used to be repulsive to women because I simply cared too much. And by doing activities that got me out of my head, into my body, getting me into that high frequency state, I don't know, man, for me, that's just really helped. And if you notice as well, none of the things that I've spoke about in this live stream have been technicalities, like how to stand, what to say, oh, push, pull, vibe stack, has she hooked yet? Dude, honestly, none of this shite makes any difference whatsoever, because it's not what you say, it's not how you say it, it's who you are when you say it. This is an identity game that we're playing. We're not chasing a goal, we're chasing an identity. Who do you need to become to live the life that you want to live? Prioritize the behaviors over the belief, because even if you don't believe that you can do it right now, belief follows action. So just take the steps, view the reps as a reward, be action focused rather than outcome dependent. And I really hope you can take inspiration from the person that I've crafted myself into, this custom made character, this custom made reality. And I honestly view it like I'm only just getting started. I think this is like another stepping stone into, I don't know, there's just bigger things. There's bigger things that I know I'm destined for. I used to think magic was going to be the thing. I spent a decade as a magician. Now I'm living, I don't even know what I am, to be honest. Yeah, freedom from bullshit practitioner is a good label, but there's just more. Do you know what I mean? It's like, there's just more. And I just find it, dude, I just find the whole game exciting. I honestly don't understand how people can get depressed when you're alive and you've got all this opportunity. Every day can feel like a holiday. It's just fun, do you know what I mean? There's a 1 in 400 trillion chance of us being born. So, you know, get off your phone, stop consuming toxic content, get around high frequency, high quality people who push you, who can help you become everything you need to be, become successful by osmosis. Stop comparing yourself to people who you don't even know anything about their lives. Just focus on you, man. Focus on you. Push, evolve, create, win. And yeah, hopefully that you found it useful. I'll shut the fuck up now. If you've enjoyed this live stream, drop it a like, share it with a friend. And if you want to work with me directly, there's a link below. All right, boys. Bye.